Hey, it's Bisou and Donna with you this week, and I have a real treat for you. We're not actually going to teach you how to make jewelry this week. We're going to teach you a little bit better how you can market and display it. I did a video some time ago about how to recover necklace displays that had kind of needed some refurbishing. But since then, we found that a lot of the things that I used, although it was really pretty, didn't really complement the jewelry. And Donna found a really great way to recover the displays using scrapbook papers, quality scrapbook papers that would really complement the jewelry, and you can choose muted colors that make your jewelry pop. And she is going to this week demonstrate her technique, which she's very, very good at, and I'm not so good at. And she's going to show you how to do it, and she's also going to explain why it's so important. And we can hear Jordan going in and out of the door. What would our videos be without those little,
I don't know, Brenda,
real life glitches?
That's it.
But anyway, I'm going to get out of the way, and I'm going to give the floor to Donna, and Donna will be your instructor for today. And she's going to explain a lot of valuable things to you. And then at the end, I'm going to come back with a little teaser for next week. So pay attention to Donna. Donna is your instructor today. Have fun.
Thank you very much, Brenda. I appreciate that. This is something that's near and dear to my heart. Presenting jewelry the best way as far as making a first impression. You know, we know that when we introduce our boyfriend to our fathers, that we want him to make a good impression. We know that when we want to get a job and we're on a job interview, first impressions mean everything. But stop and think how important first impressions are when we have our jewelry, our works of art for sale. Something can turn somebody away in an instant and they won't look twice. So I have a few illustrations of that. We know that the basic necklace background is usually black velvet. It gets lint on it. Brenda doesn't like that. Nope. It irritates her. And then sometimes, like as they age, they get a wrinkle in them. That looks terrible. But more than that, what actually complements or makes the jewelry that you have made pop? What makes somebody look a little longer or take a second look? Come on over, and I have a few examples of some things that will illustrate what I'm talking about. Well, first of all, we have an example of jewelry that looks really nice on a neutral color palette. This is soft colors. Against black, it wouldn't flatter it. But this is a nice way to display and have people notice this piece of jewelry. Next, I want to point out, you know, our basic black, it has its purpose. There's some jewelry that just looks amazing on black. You know, I think that this older style necklace pops on black. But I'm going to try to move slowly and show you what doesn't look good on black. Now, I've always loved this necklace Brenda made. And although I'm not real careful about how I put this on here, you could just see how it washes it out to be on a black background. You know, you can walk by and not notice that. But now putting it back on a strong color, you can see this whole piece pops. Now, that's what we want to do. We want to have a display that just ties in the color or makes it pop. We see here this beautiful blue looks excellent on the black. There's no way around that. I'm not so sure anything would look better. We can see an example of how this black pops against this darker color. Now here we have similar muted shades that are in this same necklace. This is actually a background that looks like a map. And it kind of gives it a nice theme as well of travel. And then we have an etched piece, one of the first ones that Brenda made that she really loves. And sometimes this just will wash out on a background. But on this particular background, it also really shows itself and it shows the detail. So this is what I'm talking about, and I'd like to share a few tips on how to revamp your own, and I'll do that right now. Here's a necklace that I've always liked. I thought, oh, you know, you're kind of wanting to get dressed up in a casual way, but you don't want to, you want to put something on to look like you're, you know, you care. It's not like you're just, you know, going to, oh, I can't say that. Okay, shopping at a big department store at night. But this here, I was looking for something that would really flatter it. And I tried different things, but then I laid it on this. And I thought, okay, now that pops. There's color, there's contrast, it's interesting, but yet it's not overwhelming to this piece. And I chose that. I thought, I think this is the perfect one for this, and as well as, you know, there'll be other ones similar to this, we'll be able to use this form. So setting this aside, I have a couple of quotes I want to share with you, inspirational quotes. I'm all about that. This is the next form. I took a look at it, and I'm real saving. And Brenda said that there's wrinkles in that. You got to throw that out. We got plenty. And Brenda doesn't know I'm saying this. But actually, if you take a broken knife, you can score this wrinkle right along the wrinkle, and it won't show up when you cover it. Okay, that's just something I wanted to show you. If you wanted to try it and you don't have very many and you want to revamp it and you think, oh, that wrinkle ruins it, it doesn't. If you score that, it flattens it out and you can use it. You can put your paper over it, you can put fabric over it. And it's simple. I didn't have to do it perfect, but you can see as I run my hand over it, it's flat now. So setting that aside, this is the first step to getting a piece of paper. It's square and it almost doesn't fit. Okay, so what? We can make it fit. We can do anything, right? What's the first step to that? Well, I mean, at first this took me a long time. And then I realized that the main thing is the very bottom of this form, we don't want our corners to be sloppy. So that's the first thing I glued down. I measure it so that when I turn it over, I'm not going to see a sloppy corner, because you can't cover it completely. There's not enough paper. So demonstrating to that point, then what is the next thing I do? Well, here's number 2 example. You see how I've glued it, very careful with the corners. Then I bring this up tight. But what is it that I'm going for here? Well, I'm trying to get enough to turn. About this much on each side is all I'm going to get out of this piece of paper. But that's okay, that's enough. If you can see that. Now, as I'm holding this from the back, you can see this is made of straight angles. There's no curves here. If you've got curves, it's really tough. You almost can't use the paper. You have to use fabric. And I had difficulty with that, but I had a lot of success with these straight angles. I'm going to set these aside. And then last but not least, the very one we're going to finish up together. Now you can see I've actually trimmed the sides. Both ends are glued down. And this is a low heat gun. That's not a heat gun, it's a glue gun.
It's a glue gun.
Yes, it's low heat. The other one tends to make me holler out when I'm working, and it makes me so irritated that the low heat doesn't hurt you, because you will get glue on your fingers. You're going to clean up this or that and do whatever you're not supposed to and fix it. But once you get to this point, first of all, I bend it before I glue it. Now I've done that already in several places. And that makes a nice firm, sharp bend. If you see strings, you pull them off naturally. That just goes without saying. Now, here we go. You don't use a lot. You can see where it's at an angle you want to start after that. I just kind of not worry about it a whole lot. Think of other things. You know, let my mind wander. Think of something funny. Wipe off the end so it doesn't make as much glue strings. And then I'm working at holding this down and rubbing it so that I try to get the smoothest edge as I can. And it doesn't take long to dry. Now when I cut off the sides, I save it because I mean the back of this, you don't want it looking terrible when the customer says, oh, I want to try that on. You know, you don't want it looking horrible on the back. So what I do is I see I have like a little challenge. You've got these, you can't bend that in the corner without black showing. So I cut some little corners, and here's a bigger example of a diamond shaped corner that I cut and I fold. And I just kind of tuck it right in there. And then I glue it. Now that's a big example so that you can see it better. Now I'm just going to do this right now with these little ones. I kind of work it in the corner a little bit. My hand's moving too fast, Javi?
No?
Okay. See how you always have some problem? I have to work this in. It's okay. Imperfection, we embrace it here. It's hard to get these corners. Last but not least, I thought that I might get a manicure before this, and then I forgot. So now the next thing we want to do is we're going to cut into the corner. It gives us a smooth line. You don't want to cut your paper that you just did, you just shove it back. I'm trying not to let this go on so that you get bored out of your skull and go get a sandwich. So I start from the side, just bend and glue. Make it as easy as you can. Get a little bit, just pull it around. And it's okay if it doesn't look quite perfect because you're going to cover the back with that. I think my hands are probably blocking every second. Now I know how Brenda has a hard time with it. The same thing. I can see a little black, but that's okay. It's not going to show. I try not to let that happen, but obviously it happened. This time it didn't on this side. Okay, wish that wouldn't have happened right there, but there's things you can do to just make it look a little bit better later. It's not really going to show from the front. It's just I'm such a fuss budget. But I do like to cover the back. I take the scraps. I hope I'm not doing this too messy, Hobby. I just take the scraps that I have left and I glue them down and I cover the back. And it's, you know, I just kind of work as I go and not be too worried about it. Get it on straight, get some of it down. Kind of turn it, do the other side. This has got to be completely crazy and sloppy on film, I'm sorry. Take the other one, do the other thing, do it again. Yeah, for the sake of speed, I'm just kind of going fast. You can do this more particular. Now then I trim it, okay? I take my scissors, just trim it from the back. And then I'll go back over and make sure that, you know, I don't have a couple places here and there that doesn't need a little bit more glue. It looks, you know, when you're done, doesn't look too bad. I probably did something wrong there. I have that bad feeling when you're not looking and you're cutting. You don't want to pull it like I'm doing. Let's just take a look at it. But you can see how it's coming together. You know, for the sake of time, I'll just go ahead and do this, finish up real fast. We'll hang a necklace on it. But this is not hard. You know, don't, you know, you want to redo some of your displays, don't be afraid. Just, you know, think about what you're doing. Don't be afraid to lay your necklace right on it, see what it looks like. You know, you're going to have a beautiful result when you're done. You're going to be glad you did it. Before I go, I love anything that inspires. We know that creativity takes courage, and I want you to believe in yourself and all that you are, and know that there's something inside of you that is greater than any obstacle. So no matter what it is that you are just a little uncomfortable with in your journey, just dive in and start and try, and things will turn out. But that's what I had for you today. Brenda has a few more things for you.
So wasn't that encouraging? Donna did such a nice job. She's a natural born teacher. And I'm sure that you all feel like, wow, you know, now I really know a good way that I can recover my old displays. I really like that tip she had about slitting the little wrinkles and creases that get in there. That's just perfect because, you know, what does it matter anymore? Putting cover over it, and scrapbook papers are not expensive. So, you know, you just maybe need to take a day or two and cover your displays so that you'll have nice ones for your shows. These would also work really well for photography, I'm thinking. We're going to try some of that. But this is the one she just did, and we just put a little necklace on it with a polymer clay pendant so that you can kind of get an idea how she matches up the papers. But it's a really, really good technique, and I hope you enjoy using it. And now I'm going to get my things out here, and I'm going to give you just a little teaser for next week to show you what we're going to do next week, and give you some item numbers too in case you want to come over to BSuBoutiques.com, where of course we have the good stuff, and grab a few things this week so you'll have them for the video next week. I found a few techniques on color that you're going to love. So come on over here one more time, please, and I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing next week. So here's your teaser for next week. For quite some time, I wanted to show you what to do with this stamping. It is item FIL 06238. FIL 06238. That is raw brass from our website. This started out looking like this. I have the bag right here. Raw, no color. I made a matte black finish on this. When you have 5 of them, you get a collar. 3 of them, you get a demi collar. I did matte black with spray paint. I have not distressed it. I did seal it because I'm thinking I may leave it that way, but I'm going to want to add elements to it. One element I might add to it, I'm not sure yet. Depends on which way I want to go with it. Might be some of these little flowers, which again were raw, and I spray painted them. You could actually do just a little collage or assemblage of some kind, and just do one single one and not do this big collar. This part, this little flower, if I can tilt it, so small, is FIG 01092. FIG 01092. Okay, they are raw, and I can prove that because I haven't done the backs yet. There they are, but there are 2 pieces riveted together, all made in the United States. I achieved the color on these by using a combination. This was all just flat black spray paint with matte spray sealant over top. Now what you could do is you could add a little bit of some of your perfect pearls, maybe cappuccino, maybe pewter, to give it a shimmer. We're going to go there. We're going to go there next week. But taking this away for now, showing that you have an alternative. You know, you can buy the raw brass and get the colors you want. We do sell some matte black at this time, but you can do it yourself too. This is very close to the chocolate kiss finish that we used to have. I did this with matte black first, let it dry. Actually, I had to do 2 coats so I got good coverage. And also too, if you're doing this, you always want to make sure that your brass is degreased. Hot water, ivory soap, scrub it up, rinse it well, and dry it perfectly well. Because if this has any machine oil on it, your paint's not going to take. Okay, so I did some matte black first, and then I hit it lightly from a distance with some brown spray paint. You could do this with acrylic paints too, and you can create your own chocolate kiss finish, which is something we discontinued because of we had some difficulties getting consistencies from the artisan finisher. So we decided we would do it ourselves, and I'm going to teach you how. You've got to do the backs too, but this is so close. In fact, when Donna came to work today, she saw me working on this piece, which is Fill 01124, and she saw me spray painting outside because I have a rack outside. And she goes, "Oh my, chocolate kiss." I says, "Isn't it though?" And all it was matte black down first with light, just little coats of brown. And this is what I achieved. I have done no highlighting, I've done no distressing. So that only means it gets better from there.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the back.
Very
This
nice.
is sealed, but you could still distress it over the seal. You just need to seal it again. So it'll be interesting till next week what I decide to do over top of this. Another piece that works up very well is this one, and this is more like our old Choxy finish. And this is FIG 09727. Many of you have enjoyed using this piece. We've done videos with this piece before, and as you can see, I'm not done. That's how it started out. But again, good coats of the matte black with shots of brown. I'm letting it dry. In fact, it's a nice sunny day here in Ohio today, so I let it dry in my rack in the sun. Now, maybe I want to leave it like that, or maybe I want to distress it. We'll see. We'll see what we do next week. Another one that worked out exceedingly well is this flower, which is FIG, FIG 06386. FIG 06386. And I did the back with brown. And you can see it kind of ran and pooled, but I like that look.
I do too.
I think it looks completely finished. And I sealed it. The front I did with matte black, 2 light coats, and then brown over top of that, and a complete coat. Not too heavy. And then 2 light coats of sealer. And that's good to go. And that is so chocolate, Donna said she felt like licking it and eating it.
Well, tell him that was not what I hoped for. But I love chocolate, and that show looks
It
delicious.
really looks like chocolate.
Yeah.
Does it look like chocolate flowers? Yep. Yep. I even did some propellers. Now propellers presented a little bit of a problem because you have this piece and it goes around, so you're going to have to move it. I don't know if you can see. You're going to have to move it to get it even. But I found out that something helps is when you do the backs, it'll get under there a little bit. So it can be done. And this again was a combination of the black and the brown. And I've got some uneven spots in it, but these would go probably in found item assemblage or steampunk, so the uneven paint would probably be a plus more than a minus. So anyway, and those propellers were raw, and that is FIG 04229. FIG04229. I'll write these all down, and Javi can put them on the video, and I'll also have them in the description. So this is your teaser for next week, and we are going to get together and explore these finishes and how to do artisan type finishes yourself even more than we have in the past. So we hope to see you next week, and thank you so much for tuning in with us this week. We really gave you a lot of information, but it was good stuff. Just like at Bisu Boutiques, we don't just give you good product. We give you good information, and we give you good teaching, and the information and teaching is always free. Come join us at the Bisu Boutiques Creative Group at Facebook. We just hit over 3,000 members. We're going to have our cyber party pretty soon. Come join us for Work Table Wednesday, finished up Friday. Come join us for our projects. In January, we're going to have a special project that's going to take 3 months. We are going to design and develop a line, start to finish. There'll be a lot of videos on that. So, thanks a lot. You have a good week, and grab yourself some stuff and get ready for next week, because we'll be back.